What is the saddest scene in movie history? In Castaway, when Tom Hanks' character goes to Helen Hunt's character's house. And as they are parting forever, she says, "I always knew you were alive. I knew it. Everybody said that I had to let you go. I love you. You're the love of my life." Gets me every time. The execution of John Coffey in the Green Mile. It also followed by the revelation at the end that Paul Edgecombe, as a result of being cured by John, has been given a lifespan that caused him to outlive his family and friends. He wonder if God is punishing him for what happened to John. He believed that since John's power could make a mouse live for 6 decades as Mr. Jingles has, then he could live for an untold number of years. The Fox and the Hound, when she leaves the fox in the forest and is reciting the poem "I Lose It." Also the whole of Blue Valentine. The Shawshank Redemption. When Brooks was released from prison. Still gets to me. She had got the cancer and died on a Tuesday. I bought her a new hat with little flowers on it. And that's all I have to say about that. Oskar Schindler. Newly minted Nazi war criminal. Pawing frantically at the last vestiges of his wealth. Realizing they meant more lives not saved. The scene where Miguel sings "Remember Me" to Mama Coco and she remembers the words. As someone whose older relatives have succumbed to dementia, things like them remembering your name, joining in on family grace, or being able to tell a story are the most moving little miracles. I've never cried that hard in public before. I was with a friend who'd never dealt with dementia before, and he got sad a scene later when it's revealed Mama Coco dies soon after. And it sounds silly, but I felt like he was sad at the wrong part of the movie. Montage in the beginning of Up. Watching Carl and Ellie live their lives only for him to be left with nothing but a house and bittersweet memories as the world keeps moving forward. Granted, happy ending, but still right in the feels. Edit. Thanks for the silver and gold. I know it's not a traditionally acclaimed film, but there's that bit in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire where Cedric Diggory's dad realizes his son's been healed. And he's trying to get to the front of the crowd and he's shouting, "That's my son. That's my boy." When those two Ewoks fall down and one of them doesn't get back up again. Hachiko waiting 9 years for his owner. The scene in Titanic where the elderly couple lay down in bed to accept their death together. When Woody gives up in the incinerator. Interstellar. Coming back to Earth, seeing his daughter dying of old age. When Will Smith has to heal his dog in I Am Legend. Broke my goddamn heart. Saving Private Ryan. Either the medic crying out for his mother, or when the guy freezes as his friend is slowly stabbed. Littlefoot's mom death in The Land Before Time. Especially that scene where he thinks he sees her but it's just his shadow and the narrator says, "Then Littlefoot knew for certain he was alone." Like, holy duck, that was so sad. Attacks in the Swamp of Sadness. Jess finding out Leslie died in Bridge to Terabithia. Every scene in Grave of the Fireflies. Make him stay. Muff. Don't let me leave. Muff. But today is my birthday. And it's a very special one because you once told me that when you come back we might be the same age. And today I'm the same age you were when you left. So it'd be real good time for you to come back. The first scene is followed by an immense catharsis shortly afterwards, so I'd lean more towards the second one. I'm tired, boss. Mostly I'm tired of people being ugly to each other. The ending of Stand By Me, because most of us can probably relate. When Pikachu shocks Stone Ash and it doesn't wake him up. The end of Big Fish. I want to watch it again but can't bring myself to do it. John Coffey asking Tom Hanks not to put the hood over his head in the Green Mile. In Atonement, when the true stories are revealed as the writer is finishing the book. I seriously felt my heart break. Lord of the Rings End, when they realize Frodo is leaving as well. When that dog waits for Fry in Futurama. Dances with Wolves, when Two Socks the wolf gets killed. Steel Magnolias, when they are at the funeral and the mother has a meltdown about her daughter dying. I cry every time. Losing a child is such a massive fear. Edit SP. Probably not the saddest, but one that always gets me is the end of American History X. From Derek crying over Danny's body to footage of the Vineyard brothers playing on the beach as kids. So bittersweet seeing them in happier, more innocent times. The baby mind scene from Dumbo. I am a grown man with a beard and I will never not cry at that scene. In Philadelphia during Andy's wake. His brother plays home videos of the siblings as children and it's so sad. Also, the scene at the hospital when his family is saying goodbye for the night is a tough one. His brother breaks down and starts bawling. So many great scenes in that movie. Dear fellas, I can't believe how fast things move on the outside. I saw an automobile once when I was a kid. But now they're everywhere. The world went and got itself in a big damn hurry. The parole board got me into this halfway house called the Brewer and a job bagging groceries at the Footway. It's hard work and I try to keep up. But my hands hurt most of the time. I don't think the store manager likes me very much. Sometimes after work, I go to the park and feed the birds. I keep thinking Jake might just show up and say hello. But he never does. I hope wherever he is, he's doing okay and making new friends. I have trouble sleeping at night. I have bad dreams like I'm falling. I wake up scared. Sometimes it takes me a while to remember where I am. Maybe I should get me a gun and rob the Footway so they'd send me home. I could shoot the manager while I was at it. Sort of like a bonus. I guess I'm too old for that sort of nonsense anymore. I don't like it here. I'm tired of being afraid all the time. I've decided not to stay. I doubt they'll kick up any fuss. Not for an old crook like me. P.S. Tell Hayward I'm sorry I put a knife to his throat. No hard feeling. Brooks. End of watch. Basically right at the end. The ending of The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Schindler's List. Where they finally show the little girl in the red cape as just another broken corpse on a heap of discarded humans. See Monday, it's got to be the bit in Dumbo when he gets taken away from his mum. That dude crying for mama in Saving Private Ryan. And then shortly dying later. Terminator 2 when Arnold lowers himself into the molten metal. Grave of the Fireflies. When he gets a bunch of food and comes back to nurse his sister back to health. But she's already gone. In Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where Yondu Udonta sacrifices himself and gets his dream funeral. Interstellar, the ending scene with Murph telling her dad that no parent should see their child die. Or the montage of the video messages Coop was sent from his kids. In Up where Ellie dies in the beginning. In Forrest Gump when he is talking to Jenny at her grave. Might not be a movie but that episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when Will's father abandoned him yet again. How come he don't want me, man? I am 27 and cannot watch that scene without crying. Just always gets me. Ending of The Mist. After the main character gets out of the car and the mist clears. When NR 99 dies in Clone Wars. No joke. When the little girl dies in Pan's Labyrinth. Boromir asking Aragorn for forgiveness after being shot with 3 arrows. The end of the film Lion based of a real story film. Honestly one of the best based on a real story films. The end of Terms of Endearment. Shirley MacLaine's daughter is dying in the hospital and is on painkillers. Shirley is at the nurse's desk telling them her daughter needs some more medication. The nurses tell her it's not time. Shirley goes ballistic screaming that her daughter is in pain and they need to give her medication. They finally agree to give her meds and Shirley pulls herself together and thanks them. Also up until this point has always been well dressed in hair perfectly done. But in this scene bleached hair is growing out and she looks like hell. As a parent this gets me every time. Who wouldn't do this for their child? When Maximus dies at the end of Gladiator. Game of Thrones. Season 6 when the completely innocent Hodder sacrifices his life for Bran. Just as you find out that was the one thing he ever lived to do. You were my brother Anakin. I loved you. I'm going to go with a deep cut. When Heroine Bob dies at the end of SLC Punk. Legit makes me cry every time. Just how alone Matthew Lillard sounds. Shut up, Walter. And let me die in peace. Double quote. Anytime a parental figure dies, Mufasa. Littlefoot's mom. Tony Stark. Fiona's dad in Shrek the Third etc etc.